Simplified Tibetan Book of the Dead for Non-Tibetans. Episode 4, Part 2. The first day of the Gandhabha. The Great Vision. Continuing the journey. Dear departed one, now that you have become aware that your human life has ended, another stage of your journey begins. From this moment onward, you will encounter experiences unlike anything you have ever known while living on earth. Some of these experiences will seem wonderfully beautiful. Others may appear mysterious. Some may even frighten you. But remember this always. Nothing that you are about to see has the power to harm you. These appearances arise through the combined influence of your accumulated karma, your own mental tendencies, and the natural condition of the intermediate state. They are experiences to be understood, not feared. If you remain calm and mindful, they can become opportunities for the great spiritual progress. An important editorial note. Before we continue with the traditional instructions contained in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, I would like to make an editorial comment for our viewers. The next section reflects my own research and personal opinion. It is not a part of the original Tibetan Book of the Dead. Each viewer should examine these ideas carefully, compare them with the Buddha's teachings, and accept or reject them according to their own wisdom. Many people who have experienced what are called near-death experiences or NDEs describe remarkably similar events. They often report leaving their physical bodies, seeing doctors working around them, meeting deceased relatives, encountering loving beings, and eventually seeing a beautiful tunnel filled with brilliant white light. Many describe feeling an overwhelming attraction toward that light. Some even say they were encouraged to enter it. These accounts have become widely known throughout the modern world. However, when we compare these reports with the sequences of experiences described in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, we notice significant differences. The Tibetan text does not describe deceased relatives welcoming the newly departed through a tunnel of light. Instead, it speaks of symbolic visions arising from the deepest levels of consciousness itself. These visions represent different spiritual possibilities rather than emotional reunions. This raises an interesting question. Why do many modern near-death experiences describe a tunnel of light, while the ancient Tibetan tradition presents something quite different? One possible explanation. Among researchers who investigate consciousness, by remote viewing and the hidden dimensions of reality, there exists a controversial hypothesis known as the Loosh FarmTheory. This theory has not been scientifically established. Neither is it taught in the Tripitaka. Nor does it appear in the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Therefore, what follows should be regarded only as a speculative interpretation. According to proponents of this theory, alongside the natural process that occur after death, there may exist an artificial system designed to influence consciousness. They suggest that certain highly intelligent non-human beings with advanced technology yet lacking spiritual development maintain a mechanism that continually draws beings back into the endless cycle of samsara. Some researchers describe these beings using names borrowed from the various religious traditions. Others compare them to certain classes of nagas, asuras, rakshasas, or reptilian entities. Again, these identifications remain speculative. They should not be accepted as established Buddhist teaching. According to this hypothesis, suffering itself produces a subtle form of energy. Fear, anger, grief, despair, anxiety, hatred. These powerful emotional states are believed by proponents of this theory to generate what they call loosh, a form of psychic or spiritual energy. They claim that this energy is harvested in much the same way that human beings harvest milk from cattle or honey from bees. Whether this theory is true or false is something each person must decide for themselves. I simply present it here because many modern researchers have independently proposed similar ideas after studying thousands of reports concerning consciousness after death. A simple analogy. Imagine a fisherman working at sea during the night. Instead of casting a net randomly, he lowers an extremely powerful electric lamp into the darkness. Small fish naturally swim towards the bright light, believing it to be food or safety. They gather around it. Only when they are close enough does the fisherman raise the net. The fish are caught. The light itself was not natural. It was an artificial device created to attract them. Whether or not this analogy applies to what occurs after death is impossible to prove. Nevertheless, it illustrates the concern expressed by researchers who support this hypothesis. Therefore, if you, dear departed one, should encounter anything that irresistibly attempts to pull you towards it, do not rush toward it. Without careful awareness, remain calm. Observe carefully. Exercise wisdom rather than impulse. If something appears forcefully attractive while simultaneously creating attachment or emotional excitement, then pause. Remain mindful. Remember the Buddha's teaching that craving is the fuel of continued existence. Anything that strengthens craving should always be examined carefully. Returning to the ancient instructions. Now let us leave aside this editorial discussion and return to the sacred instructions preserved for centuries within the Tibetan Book of the Dead. From this point onward, we once again address the departed directly. Dear departed one, today extraordinary visions may begin to unfold before your awareness. Do not think that they are ordinary sights. Neither should you imagine that they are dreams. Your mind has now become far more subtle than it was while living in the physical body. Freed from the limitations of flesh and blood, consciousness now perceives reality that were previously hidden. These visions arise naturally. Do not become attached to them. Do not fear them. Simply observe them with mindfulness and understanding. Your mind has become sharper. One remarkable change has already taken place within you. Although your physical body has perished, your mind has become astonishingly clear. Without the constant distractions of the five physical senses, without the heaviness of the body, without hunger, without fatigue, without physical pain, the mind now functions with far greater sharpness. Thoughts arise more quickly, memories become more vivid, intentions manifest almost immediately. This increased clarity is both a great opportunity and a great responsibility. If wholesome thoughts arise, they become powerful. If fear arises, it too becomes powerful. Therefore, guard your mind carefully. Never forget that your own mental state now shapes your experience more directly than ever before. Preparing for the first vision. Very soon, the sky around you may begin to change. The familiar twilight that has surrounded you may suddenly transform. A magnificent blue radiance may gradually fill the space before you. What appears next may seem more vivid than any landscape you have ever witnessed, more beautiful than the finest work of art, more lifelike than the clearest motion picture. Do not be frightened. Remain calm. The great vision is about to begin.
This is where we'll pick up in our next episode, the strange, disorienting days that follow, and what this tradition suggests we can do to prepare for them long before we ever reach this threshold ourselves.
This video series, How We Receive Our Next Birth, are based on my book, composed as a simple adaptation of the Tibetan Book of the Dead for non-Tibetan Buddhists, as the original book is too complicated for an ordinary person. This book I originally wrote in 1995 is available for download for free in English and Sinhalese languages, and it will also be translated to Russian and Thai languages as well in the near future. The download links are in the description and also in the first comment. Please subscribe to watch the full series. May all beings be free from the sufferings of samsara.